Greetings everybody and Happy New Year. I'm coming to you again live from downtown Zhongshan, China, from the new Walkabout Rojo studios, which I have put together here in the last part of 2020. Going forward into 2021, this is going to be my new home for live streaming and vlogging and editing and just overall business in general. I'm very excited for it. As always, every year I like to talk about what happened in the previous year, kind of do a review of 2020. It was a banner year for me here at Walkabout Rojo. Let's give you some numbers. In 2020, I posted 119 videos. That is about 895 minutes. 2020 has seen 252,000 views just in 2020 alone. That's an increase of almost 30% from the previous year. I have over 1,600 new subs. Thank you, everybody. Welcome to the family. And 3.7 million impressions. In addition, we've seen the creation of my website, my Facebook page, the Rojo Reason News channel, a lot more live streaming, a lot more car videos, hotel videos, hiking videos, and just general vlogs about my life. It was a crazy year. January, I posted 10 videos. My first video of the year was me actually buying a used car. I've been talking about buying a used car for many years, and I finally just buckled down. I did a ton of research. I took my time choosing the right vehicle for me, and I settled on the Reivew H6. I hope I get to keep it for another couple of years. The thing is still moving along really well. I take really good care of it. I also did a walkabout of Macau. It was the last time I left mainland China and crossed the border. I just went for a day trip down to Macau to walk around and enjoy the city and see a movie. But that was the last time I was allowed to leave China and come back. And then I took off on my road trip to Yangshuo, and I was planning to spend a week in Yangshuo, but the minute I got there, everything closed down and they started taking this COVID thing extremely seriously. I recall we showed up to a hotel and the hotel literally closed in front of us. As we walked through the town, the restaurants were literally closing up as we walked by them. They were throwing the fish back in the river, and Yangshuo was a scary ghost town.
This is so scary. It's like one little brave soul out trying to sell jellies.
In February, I posted 16 videos. This was a very, very surreal time. As we left Yangshuo and started our journey back into Guangdong, they were closing the highway behind us, and it was too far to drive in one day, so we stopped in a town called Hongyao. And this is an ancient town. The town was closed. They weren't allowing it. There were no tourists anyways, but they weren't allowing tourists to come into the town, except for us. We were the only ones allowed in. We stayed in this little guest house. There was only one restaurant in the whole town that was open. The people, the local people of Hongyao welcomed us in because we had no place else to go. And they were wonderful. We walked around this ancient town completely void of anyone. We had the whole place to ourselves, other than a couple of locals here and there. It was empty. I don't think anyone will ever see Hongyao empty the way we saw it. And of course, as soon as I got home, I went straight into quarantine. They locked me up at the college. I wasn't allowed to leave. I mean, there was nobody else there. There were no students, there was no faculty. It was just me and the cats. And it stayed that way for a long, long time. And so a lot of the videos I was making was about my experience of just being in complete isolation on a college campus. One of my favorite videos that I made during this time was called My Chinese Groundhog Day. It really felt like Groundhog Day.
Because I'm in it with the Chinese people. All my friends here. I want to show them that I'm not going to abandon them. I'm not going to leave them. I'm not going to flee. They have shown so much strength and inspired me to stay and do this with them. Does that make sense? I'm trying to make sense of it for myself.
I got you, babe.
Do you know what today is?
No, what? Today is tomorrow. It happened.
Towards the end of the month, though, things started to slowly get to better. I was allowed off the campus every couple of days to go get food, just for a couple of hours. But I noticed things were slowly starting to get back to normal as they essentially starved the beast here in China.
It's a little too cold to camp out on the lawn. I don't need to camp out on the lawn. My apartment's right here, but at least I can have a little barbecue.
Yeah, it's a quiet night here on the college campus. In March, I posted 14 videos, and during this time, the restrictions were starting to be lifted. They weren't completely lifted on me yet, but for many of my friends, they were. And I got to go out once every 3 days, and I spent the time going hiking with a friend. I also got to drive around the factory areas of Zhongshan and see how the factories were doing, if they were coming back, how they were doing, if they were coming back, because they got hit hard during this time. And I filmed one of my favorite videos of the year, which is fear and trail running in China. I got to mix in some really cool science fiction movie quotes about the concept of fear, because during this time, fear is everywhere, and I wanted to make a video addressing that emotion and my thoughts on it. So I just went running in the mountains and gave my open thoughts about the idea of fear and what it meant to me. In March, I posted 12 videos. Began the month kind of in a rut. I've been stuck at home. I hadn't been teaching. I was feeling a little down, a little lonely, a little depressed. And I was invited to go out to Dongguan by Fernando from China Teacher Brand to do his podcast and to make some videos with him. And that was a wonderful moment because it was my first time outside of Zhongshan in many months. And I joined his podcast with Ziv from, of course, China. A truly great couple of days I spent in Dongguan, ate some delicious foods, and got to spend some time with the guys. It was exactly what I needed in that part of time, and I can't thank them enough for facilitating that weekend for me. I wasn't able to go home this year because of the virus. And during the early part of the year, there were so many questions and so many what ifs. And I had many members of my family who were sick, not with COVID, but with other ailments. And it got me thinking, before I could hop on an airplane and be home within 24 hours. That's the amount of time it takes for me to get from door to door is 24 hours. But it's a hell of a lot more complicated these days than it was in previous years. But it got me thinking about one of the hardest things about living abroad. And I thought long and hard, and I listed them out, all the things that I missed about home and all the things that were important to me and some of the things that I struggled with being gone for half a decade now. It was a very personal video, a very difficult one to make. I think all those people who do live abroad from their home can really identify with it.
3.
Yeah! So if you ask me, what is the hardest thing about living abroad? That's it. It's not being there for your friends and your family when not only they need you the most, but you need them the most. These are things that when you are deciding to move abroad and you're all excited about the adventure, you don't think about, or at least you don't want to think about it. Until the next video, I hope everyone is safe and healthy and happy.
In May, I posted 14 videos, and I began to reflect a lot on what was going on, just not only in China, but also throughout the world. And one of the videos that I posted was about survival and acceptance.
Kubler-Ross model of grief. You know, the 5 stages, right? The first stage is being denial and isolation.
No way, because I'm not done.
Second stage being anger.
Are you little dirt?
Then fear.
What's after fear? What's after fear?
Then bargaining.
Doc, you gotta get me out of this. I'll make it with your what?
And then finally, acceptance.
Well, we all gotta go sometime.
But this is a little different because it's kind of ongoing.
So now that things have started to get a little bit better here in China, you start to reflect on the past couple of months and what has happened. I also did a tour of a IKEA. Did a weekend up in Guangzhou during this time, and Guangzhou was still kind of on lockdown a little bit. Things were starting to opening up, but I just went for a walk in the Guangzhou parks, which was beautiful. Guangzhou is an amazingly walkable city with incredibly beautiful parks, and it doesn't get the attention that I think it deserves. And of course, in May, I announced my new channel, Rojo Reads the News. In June, I posted 7 videos, including Rojo's Rules for Leadership. I studied leadership in grad school. It is a topic that I find fascinating. I thought that the video was very apropos. And I bought a new toy. I bought my first drone, and you've seen in my latest videos I've incorporated some drone footage because why not? In July, I posted only 5 videos, and I was going out to Huizhou a lot, helping a buddy of mine move, and I spent a lot of time in Huizhou over the last parts of the summer. But I also took some time and enjoyed my birthday at my favorite hotel, the Ritz-Carlton. In August, I continued my summer exploration. I was still going out to Huizhou a lot, but I also went down to Zhuhai and explored one of the islands. Zhuhai has a ton of islands, and this is Hebaodao. One of them, I just picked it at random to check it out, and man, it was a hot day, but an interesting little walkabout. In September, I posted 9 videos, and during this time, I hadn't started teaching at the college yet, so I had some time to go out and enjoy some of the surrounding towns, and I went out to Zhaoqing. They've got this area there called the 7-Star Crags. The next day, I went out to Dinghushan, which is a lovely, beautiful forest park just on the outskirts of Zhaoqing. 2 days touring 2 of the most beautiful places in Guangdong, and they're 2 of my favorite videos of the year. In October, I posted 12 videos, and they were mostly from the holiday. Took a drive to the northern part of Guangdong in search of Nanling National Forest, which was closed, couldn't get in. But I ended up going to see a very interesting glass platform in Qingyuan. I actually found Yumanshan Resort, which was a very unique glass bridge kind of tourist resort there in Xiaolan. In November, I only posted 6 videos. The term had started. I was working very, very hard throughout the month. But I did take a couple of days and go climb Lofushan in Huizhou, which is one of the holy Taoist mountains in China, and one of the most famous peaks, and one of the tallest peaks in all of southern China. It was a great video and one of my favorite ones of the year. In December, I posted 8 videos, and I finished off the year with a trip to Jiangxi and Wuganshan, which is one of the most beautiful places I have ever been in my life. And as a result, it was a 2-video series on that trip. It's 2 of my favorite videos I've ever made. Epic journey and an epic experience climbing and camping on top of Wuganshan. If you haven't seen those videos, out of all the videos that I made this year, those are the 2 I want you all to watch, because I put a lot of heart and effort into those videos, and to share that experience with the world really means a lot to me. With storm clouds, I mean, if I look this way, up there, that's where we came from, and it's raining on that peak right now. There's no one else here. We have this whole glass walkway to ourselves. It is really incredible. Look, it's completely empty. We are the only ones here. Fascinating. We're
going down that valley after
So
this.
what is 2021 going to be like? Obviously, I think we are all a lot more optimistic about the future and about what is in store for us, the challenges ahead of us, but also the opportunities that we can face all together. And I'm actually excited for it. 2020, when you look back on it, is a memorable year. We're never going to forget it. It was tough. It was challenging. But that doesn't mean that everything was bad. There was a lot of good stuff that happened. Even out of the chaos came some truths, some inner soul searching that we've all done. We've learned to appreciate each other more. We've learned to appreciate the small things in life. That's got to be the ultimate walkabout. It's discovering ourselves. When we're faced with these challenges, when we're faced with these uncertain futures, how do we respond? How do we move forward? Out of destruction comes creation. And that's kind of the theme, the motto that I'm going to take with me into the new year. You know, I got a lot of traveling planned, most of it here in China. If I can get back home this summer for my parents' 50th wedding anniversary, that would be ideal. We'll see how the world is a few months from now. More about life for me, more about getting to know myself, my place in this world, my place in China, and you are all along for the ride. It's going to be a great year, and as always, I hope it's going to be a great year for you too.